NHL and NBA playoffs currently going on. If you want to hear about that, you can tune in to the morning show of the Triple Threat Show. This is a special edition. The NFL Draft is right around the corner, just 3 days away, almost exactly 72 hours from now. The picks will start pouring in, and the Raiders will officially be on the clock. We are your guides, your shepherds through the world of the NFL Draft. Don't give me that look, Peter. My vocabulary is immaculate, as they say. We have, of course, another mock draft for you here live. Special difference: trades are allowed this time. There will be a couple of trades in this mock, unlike the last one. If you want to see what we did a couple weeks ago, it is on the YouTube channel at Triple Threat Show. Go check us out there. Go check us out wherever you get your podcasts, on Twitch, Instagram, and on TikTok, all over the internet. But we are going to take you through the world of the draft. I'm your host, Jeremy Lapidus, joined today by my two friends and co-hosts, Caleb Carney and Peter Keegwin. We are here, your draft experts, to take you through what is going to be one of the more chaotic drafts that we have seen in quite some time. It doesn't always start chaotic, though. And I'm going to start off nice and simple, get a baseline for our NFL draft as Fernando Mendoza here with the Raiders. The pick is in. As if it wasn't already obvious, I think I might have given it away here. The Raiders will be selecting quarterback Fernando Mendoza out of the University of Indiana. The quarterback...
Really?
The quarterback is the main pick here, right? They desperately need one. They traded away Geno Smith. Yep. And you know what they don't have right now?
What's that?
A quarterback.
Oh.
And I would argue, and I'm sure Peter disagrees with me, that the quarterback is the most important position on the football field.
Not even close. Not even close.
Actually, I want to hear your thoughts on this real quick. What do you consider the most important?
Edge rusher. 400% edge rusher. Quarterback can't do anything if the edge rusher is sacking them every single time.
Yeah, but the edge rusher has nothing to sack if the quarterback's not there.
And you select Fernando Mendoza for the quarterback that's not going to be there.
Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall.
Well, they signed Kirk Cousins.
They did sign Kirk Cousins, QB1.
Yeah, Kirk O'Chains.
Kirk O'Chains.
2 quarterback lineup.
Put them both on the field.
Yep.
We will be going in a triangle order, much like we did last time. I've got the first overall pick. Second overall pick goes to my friend Caleb Carney here. Third overall pick goes to Peter. We will continue around in a circle until we reach the end of the NFL draft. So Fernando Mendoza off the board at number 1. The New York Jets on the clock at number 2.
So, it's really funny that Peter mentioned edge. Because there's 2 names that have come down in this Jets team to really be the top of the board. And it seems to be Arvell Reese and it seems to be David Bailey. And I don't really think that the Jets can go wrong. That roster has a lot of holes, and I think both of these players fill the immediate needs on that team. But with that being said, there's a lot of pre-draft hype on this pick, but the pick is in. With the second pick, the New York Jets select David Bailey, Texas Tech.
Whoa!
I mean, it's going to come as no surprise. They've lost some key members on that defense, and like Peter said, edge is a very important piece. And I think getting a guy who can pressure the quarterback, maybe take some pressure off of some of your weaker points on that team, such as the secondary and your safeties. I mean, I think David Bailey is going to be an immediate help to that team, and I see him immediately helping. I just don't think they could go wrong with either of those players, Arvell Reese or David Bailey. I just think they like David Bailey more. As we saw, they canceled their visit. Most of the time, that means I have no questions. I like you as a player, or I don't want to waste your time. I like you as a player. Or it's just all smoke screens and we're all reading it wrong and they're going to go Arvell Reese. It really just depends on how that new Jets front office seems to stack up. So
it's tea leaves are hard to read sometimes, but it seems the indication is it's going to be between one of those two guys. We'll see how far the other one falls. Arvell Reese still on the board at our mock as we hit pick 3, and the Cardinals are on the clock, Peter.
Yeah, I mean, with the Cardinals pick, it's kind of between a few guys. I mean, you still have Arvell Reese, you still have Jeremiah Love. You could even go potentially Sony Styles. I mean, there's a lot of options here that the Cardinals need. I don't think that they would go Francis.
Hello, Peter.
Uh-oh.
Maybe
we've lost Peter's audio.
you know, I tried to use a prop, and I think I might have broken his audio.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
What have you done?
I tried to call him. I was literally going to call him and do a trade.
Peter, are you alive? We have no Peter
We
audio.
can't hear Peter anymore. Peter, hang up and join again. My fault. I'm breaking everything. He's deafened.
Uh-oh.
I have a trade proposal at number 3, though.
Okay, talk to me about it.
Yeah,
we have some technical difficulties on Peter's side.
Yeah, so Peter will rejoin with us shortly, but here Caleb, I have a question for you.
Okay.
At number 3 overall, we are going to propose a trade. We,
Okay.
being the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
The Dallas Cowboys, as you know, hold 2 first-round picks in this year's draft, and the number 3 overall pick is supposedly the 3rd best player.
Allegedly.
I would offer you the number 12 overall pick and the number 20 overall pick for the number 3 overall pick. What do you think?
Well, if I'm the Cardinals and I know I have a lot of holes on that roster, I would accept that trade.
Well, I'm the Dallas Cowboys, and I would love to make a deal. We
All
have
right.
our first official trade, Peter, of the mock draft here. The Dallas Cowboys
can
are
hear you
sending
now.
pick 12 and pick 20 to the Cardinals for pick number 3 overall. And Peter, you're back on the clock as the Dallas Cowboys.
Gotcha. I think my headphones decided they didn't want to hear me talk anymore.
Oh, well, you're back.
Yeah. So, what was the trade again? I didn't quite hear.
I'm
it's
sending you the 12
completely
and the
cut out.
20 for pick number 3.
You are the Dallas Cowboys.
All right. So, if I'm Jerry Jones, which thankfully I'm not, I would only be moving up for one guy, and that's Arvell Reese. You could have an argument for Sonny Styles here. He is a great player, but Arvell Reese was their best player on that defense this past season. Could be the number 2 overall pick. So I think you move up and you grab Arvell Reese when you can.
Arvell Reese goes off the board at number 3 in the first big trade that we have seen of the night. The Titans on the clock. Pick number 4 is here, and Tennessee could go in a lot of different directions, boys. They really could. They need a lot. They need some defense. They need some offense. They brought in Robert Saleh as the head coach. They brought in Brian Daboll as the offensive coordinator. And if there's one thing we know about Brian Daboll's offense, is that he loves to have a good running game. And the best running back, the best player in this class sits at the board at number 4. The pick is in. The pick is in at number 4, and the Tennessee Titans have decided to hand in the card for Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. He is, on my big board, the number 1 prospect. He's not getting out of the top 10, and Jeremiah Love is going to be a great NFL football player. He's going to cause problems for everyone that he goes up against. We saw Ashton Genty go for 1,300 yards last year, and that was considered a failure of a year behind a really bad Raiders offensive line. Jeremiah Love is going to go to a better situation with a better offensive line, and he's a better player. Look for him to flirt with 2,000. And that might sound like a joke. I'm not even kidding. I think that's entirely realistic for Jeremiah Love in his rookie season, 2,000 scrimmage yards. He is a special, special back, and the Titans steal him, snag him at pick number 4.
I think Love would also be the running back with the most guaranteed money as a running back in the history of the NFL if he was drafted this high, which is kind of crazy to think about.
I know if he's drafted 3 overall, he for sure has the most ever.
Yeah.
Which is a ridiculous stat. I mean, I just think that running backs are just so underappreciated. I mean, they're not underappreciated by the fans, but by front offices, by coaches, they're an underrated position. I think that running backs should get their worth. That's just my opinion.
I mean, it's tough. Positional value is a whole nother thing, the way the cap space works. But that's a topic for another show, another day. The Giants, their first pick of the top 10. They're on the clock.
I know. It's crazy. I think they've really changed up the game here by trading away Dexter Lawrence. They now have 2 first-round picks, and I know you're sad about Sexy Dexy.
I'm very sad.
Moving along and moving away. And I do think that there's a lot of smoke and mirrors at this pick. I think they're really trying to change up what they're trying to say they want to do. And that defensive line, despite losing Sexy Dexy, is still, I want to say, one of the best in the league.
It's really good on the edges.
It's really good on the edges. It's a little weak in the middle, but there's nobody this high that you're going to look at for that position. You're not going to want to draft any defensive tackle this high. I mean, the first on the board is going to probably be, is it going to be Caleb Banks? Is it going to be Peter Woods? Caden McDonald? That's another name that you could be looking at. But I don't think any of them are worth the 5th. And if I am Joe Shane, which I just learned that's how you pronounce his name.
It's quite the way to spell Shane.
I did not realize his name was Shane. I was talking to Jeremy earlier, and I called him Scowen because that's kind of how it's spelled. And I learned it's Joe Shane. And after Francis Maui Noah last time, I've learned to figure out more names.
It's more fun to sound them out yourself.
I mean, I'm bad at sounding out names. So, with that being said, with the 5th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Giants have their pick. I'm going to fall for all the smoke and mirrors. It's my problem. It's my fault. With the 5th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Caleb Downs. I'm going to fall for it. The smoke and mirrors got me. I know they should draft Sonny Styles. I know they should. I'm going to fall for the smoke and mirrors. They keep saying they like Downs. Everyone seems to think they like Downs more and that they're worried they can't get them at pick 10. I understand they want to keep that secondary up. And I think they know that some of their off-ball ends could play partially at linebacker and hold up a little bit more. And I think they want to cover the safety position. So I'm going to fall for the smoke and mirrors. It's my fault. Jeremy, I know you hate this pick. I know you want them to take Sonny Styles. So talk to me a little bit about why you disagree.
I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit for the audience here, okay? We, in order to make these trades happen, pre-planned. Which trades? I'm sure it's very obvious that we pre-planned these trades because deals don't just come together like that. I don't think our next trade is going to go through because of this.
I don't remember it.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it when we get there. But I just want to put that out there. I don't think that our next team would make a trade in this instance. Because I think they really would like Sonny Styles with that pick. Now, I also would like Sonny Styles for the Giants. I think they need a linebacker to be there for the next 10 years to be the centerpiece of the defense.
And I'm also just forgetful.
But this is how the cookie crumbles, and this is why we're doing it live. You know what? We throw our trades out the window. We continue to work with what we've got. And, sometimes the draft doesn't go how you expect it, even when you have a pretty good feeling about how it's going to go. The Giants pick Caleb Downs, and the Cleveland Browns are on the clock at number 6.
Yeah, so Cleveland Browns have a lot of interesting choices here. There's a lot of talk about them trading back from the 6th spot. You could see them potentially trading with, I could see them honestly trading with the Commanders if the Commanders saw this as a great spot to jump them to avoid another team from getting Sonny Styles. So, but really, if they were here and they were sticking to the pick, there's really only 2 guys, and that is Francis Manoa or Carnell Tate. It's between those 2. And it really comes down to what would they have later in the draft? Do they think that they would have an offensive tackle later in the draft, or is there going to be a wide receiver frenzy? And with that being said, the pick is in. And with the 6th pick, the Cleveland Browns select Carnell Tate, Ohio State.
Carnell Tate goes off the clock, off the board. Their first wide receiver here. I am going to do something that, honestly, I didn't even know I could do trades during the draft. But now I know that I can, which is going to make this very interesting. So here's what's happening. In our original plan, going behind the curtain.
Behind the scenes,
inside radio, inside baseball, all that stuff. The Commanders were supposed to trade out of this pick, with Sonny Styles being gone. I don't see that as a possibility. Sonny Styles on the board, with the Commanders on the clock, that is a run to the podium. Don't think about anything. We are bringing our linebacker of the future. So all that being said, the pick is in for the Washington Commanders. The Washington Commanders, on the clock, they select Ohio State linebacker Sonny Styles in a shocking turn of events. This is a steal for them. If Sonny Styles falls to them, this is something this is the very bottom of his range, and I think this is the very bottom, this is the best possible way that I think the Commanders could have this draft go. Because if I think they were picking number 1 overall, they would have a choice between David Bailey, Arvell Reese, and Sonny Styles. I think those are their big 3 on their board. I think they're taking one of those 3 guys if they have the choice.
I would argue it's only Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese. They've spent so much money on that defensive line.
Yeah, but I mean, Arvell Reese is supposed to be a defensive lineman coming into the NFL. That's what he wants to be. He wants to be an edge rusher. So he
just wants the money.
Well, yeah, but he's gonna come in and classify as an edge. So it's between those 3 guys, and one of those guys is very much on the board for them. So Sonny Styles off the board here at number 7, and the Saints on the clock at number 8.
Well, so after a look behind the curtain, I fell for some smoke and mirrors today because I think that it's just something that could happen. And that's me just being a little bit forgetful about things. But, now we have the Saints, and the Saints have a lot of needs. They could go somebody on the defensive line. They could go a wide receiver. They could go any which number of ways. I think that any which way is not incorrect. And so as I'm watching Jeremy fix a board, I think the Saints have their way, and the pick is in. With the 8th pick, the New Orleans Saints select Ruben Bain Jr.
Ruben Bain goes off the clock at number 8 to the New Orleans Saints. Now, this, I think, is a interesting development here. The Saints need a lot of help, especially on that defensive line. I like this pick a lot for them, but he's a guy that has been rumored to fall all the way out of the top 10. I think that would be a mistake. The Saints snag up one of the better pass rushers here at number 8.
I just think that they're going to look at their big board. I know they have interviewed him a couple times. I know they've spoke with him. They've done private workouts. They've gone the mile. They've done the work. I feel like it's either going to be that or they're going to choose one of those wide receivers. And we don't know which direction that they're going to go. And I think that Ruben Bain fits their defense. And I think it will help them move forward in the right direction.
I like it. All right. The Chiefs, Peter, are on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, there are really 3 guys on this board right now that I could see any of the 3 of them being selected by the Chiefs. I mean, there's still Francis Mauigoa, a guy who is been considered for pretty much the entire draft process a top 5 pick. And only recent news has he suddenly changed to top 10 to even outside the top 10 now. They also traded away their 2 starting DBs. So there's Mansour Delane right there, best DB on the board. And then they really need a wide receiver. Right now, their only wide receiver is Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy hasn't been worth the pick as of right now. That could change. And Travis Kelce is not going to be in the NFL for much longer. He's had a great career, but he's starting to slow down, just like every single player does. So with that being said, the pick is in. And with the 9th pick, the Kansas City Chiefs select Mansour Delane, DB, LSU.
Mansour Delane off the clock here. Talk to me a little bit about that.
They are in desperate need of some DB help. He is the best DB on this board. Some may say that Jermod McCoy is the best DB on this board. I don't hate that. It's just there's so many health concerns with him right now. I mean, we had some news within the hour about why teams are starting to be worried and may not even select him until late first round at this point. Because there's a brand new health risk that has just popped up that could be with him for most of his career. So at this stage, I think that they go with the safe bet and they go with Mansour, who has proven this past season that he can be a number 1 guy in this NFL.
Mansour Delane goes off at number 9. The Giants round out the top 10 here with pick number 10. The trade that they acquired from Cincinnati for Dexter Lawrence. Now, there's been a lot of rumors about where the Giants go here. They could get a tackle. I don't think they need a tackle. If they're getting an offensive lineman, I think they go Ione, the guard at Penn State, but this feels a little bit early to get a guard. I also don't think they're going to trade back because the Giants just traded up to get this pick. I think they want someone on that board, and I think the person that they've fallen in love with is a wide receiver out of Arizona State. The pick is in. The New York Giants, with their 2nd pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, their 2nd in the top 10, close out the top 10 with the best wide receiver in this class, the most explosive player outside of one Jeremiah Love, Jordan Tyson. Welcome to New York. Jordan Tyson, I think, is the best wide receiver in this class by a mile. I think he's the only wide receiver in this class that I think has true wide receiver 1 potential. Now, he won't be wide receiver 1 because, they have a top 5 wide receiver in the league in the NFL already in Malik Nabers. But, I mean, you pair him with Malik Nabers.
And possibly Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell as a wide receiver 3. That is a dangerous trio for Jackson Dart and a new offense. There's been a lot of rumors around them going towards a running back. Jeremiah Love doesn't get to them. Jordan Tyson off the board at number 10.
All right. Moving forward, we have the Miami Dolphins. Uh, let's think real quickly. What's going right down in Miami besides Devon Achane?
They have their quarterback of the future, maybe.
They have paid a lot of money for an unproven quarterback. Peter, you got anything going right for him?
Yeah. What's his name? Is it Chubb? Chubb something.
Bradley Chubb is not on the team anymore.
He's not. I thought he still was.
No, he's gone.
Oh, never mind then.
The only thing that I can think of on that Dolphins that is going right is the running back room. You've got Devon Achane, you got Ollie Gordon. Both good running backs. I think Ollie Gordon is a solid third down back. And you've got Achane, who can do it all. I mean, I think we saw him out at wideout earlier, and they've let Tyreek Hill walk. Well, I don't know if he was walking, but and they have traded away Jalen Waddle. I don't know if there's much left on that team.
Not much.
And I think what they're just going to do is they're going to look at the board and they're going to go, who's on the board? What do we like? Who can we like? And there's not much to like. Well, there's a lot to like, but there's not much in terms of wow factor. Except for possibly one name. And with that being said, the pick is in. With the 11th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Makai Lemon, USC.
Makai Lemon goes off the board, replaces Jalen Waddle as the wide receiver of the future in Miami. A little run on wide receivers in the last couple picks. Peter, the Cardinals are back on the clock at number 12, and this board looks exactly like they wanted it to look when they made that trade with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great opportunity for them. I mean, they've been in desperate need of a quarterback, so clearly they're going to go quarterback here. I'm just joking. They are sprinting to the podium. They're giving the card in. It's, once again, it's the Will Anderson trade, though they missed out on Will Anderson, so you can't really claim that they won that. But with that being said, the pick is in. And with the 12th pick, the Arizona Cardinals select Francis Mauigoa, offensive tackle out of Miami. I mean, this is a guy that they are considering to pick with the 3rd overall pick in the draft, and he's somehow fallen to them at 12 in this mock. I mean, they couldn't be more happy at this point.
Yep, I'm on the same page. This is a steal for them. And with the talent that's still alive at offensive tackle and offensive line in general, they have their pick of the litter. That's the first offensive lineman off the board. They could have taken him. They could have taken Fano. They could have taken Freeland. They could have taken Ione if they wanted an interior guy. There's a lot of great options here for the Cardinals. The Rams are on the clock here, and I am the GM of the Rams right now. But if I were the GM of the Ravens, and I'm just leaving this up for the group, screw it, we're doing it live, boys. I am proposing a trade to myself on behalf of the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens, they trade up one spot with the Los Angeles Rams. Actually, you know what? I'm taking it back. The Rams aren't taking the Ravens aren't taking the same person as the Ravens. I'm withdrawing. I'm withdrawing my trade proposal here. Sorry for wasting your time, boys. On the clock, the Rams.
As the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns.
I am going to call into the Rams.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, hey, I heard that you wanted a wide receiver. And all those big name wide receivers are gone. I'm at pick 24, and I can offer you pick 24 and pick 39. I want your 13th overall.
Okay. Why do you want the 13th overall?
There is a player that the Browns really like.
Oh, I see. That's exactly who I'm taking if I'm the Rams, though.
You really think?
I do. So I will be rejecting that trade
And that's fair.
because I think the apple of everyone's eye at this pick, it's in. The Rams on the clock at pick number 13. They select offensive tackle out of Utah, Spencer Fano. This is one of the top tackles left in the draft. I think we start to see a little bit of a run on tackles now. They just extended, the Rams did. They just extended Matthew Stafford. They need some offensive line help. This is a spot for them to get it. A guy falls right into their lap at 13 that I don't think would have otherwise. And the Ravens are on the clock.
All right. So if I am the Baltimore Ravens and I'm looking at this board, I think that the player that I wanted is still on this board. There's a couple ways that I could go. I could try and beef up my secondary, go for a Jermon McCoy. I can fix my offensive line. I could go Ione. I could replace an aging Mark Andrews with Kenyon Sadiq. I could bolster my offensive line again with Monroe Freeling. All of those picks are good. But with that being said, the pick is in. With the 14th pick in the NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Ione, guard out of Penn State. I think this is exactly who they want. They want a guard. They want a center. Their center left got paid a lot of money out at Las Vegas. And so they're going to try and alleviate some of the pain at center, and they're going to draft a guard. There's no center that is worth being drafted in this first round this year. And so I think they're going to fix it all and just go home with a guard. I just don't think that they could go wrong with it. Peter, talk to me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that they can go here, but I feel like guard is the best option for them. I mean, Ione is one of those guys that can just end up blocking for Lamar Jackson so he can have just that little bit more time that they needed so badly last year. So I think that they go Ione. I don't see them trading out of the spot because I think that's the guy that they're looking for right now.
Peter, the Bucks are on the clock at pick 15.
You know, the Bucks pick is an interesting one because they could go Sadiq. I mean, they really only have Otton right now, and I'm a big Cade Otton fan, but he's not Kenyon Sadiq. But I said at the beginning of this stream that the most important position of football is edge, and the Bucks need an edge rusher. So, with that being said, the pick is in. And with the 15th pick, the Tampa Bay Bucks select Akeem Mesidor, edge rusher out of Miami. This is the best edge rusher on the board right now. If you want a guy that is going to get to the quarterback consistently, you want to draft Mesidor here. So I think that the Bucks are very happy with this pick, and I don't think they would trade out of it at this stage if they can get Mesidor here.
Yep, I'm on the same page as you. I think that's a steal of a pick. Mesidor is the top of that next group of defenders, I think, right behind your group that ends with a guy like Mansour Delane. I think he is going to be the next level of defense that goes sliding up towards the front end of the NFL draft. I think 15 is an excellent spot for him. But at pick number 16 in the NFL draft, the Jets return to the podium, and with the way this board has fallen, I know there are some concerns, but the pick is in. The New York Jets are having a field day. Not only did they get their pick of the litter of defenders with their first overall pick at number 2, they got David Bailey, but now they get what some people consider to be the best corner in this draft class. Tennessee's Jermon McCoy goes off the board at 16. The injuries are a concern, but he has been out there. He has been performing, and I don't think the Jets are going to be so scared away by him that they pass up on the opportunity to replace Sauce Gardner. And the Jets, they get their guy at 16. The Lions are on the clock.
The Lions, they're interesting. They're at this odd stage of they don't know if they need to keep moving forward and they need to double down and find a way to win a Super Bowl, or if it is time to move off of Jared Goff and start over. They're at this strange spot. And I think the Lions need to choose a direction. There is a couple holes on that roster. There are some things that are going to be easier to fill at this position. There's going to be some things that are harder to fill at this position. But with that being said, I think the Lions know where they're going to go here, and I think they have what they want in mind. And so with that being said, the pick is in. With the 17th pick in the NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Monroe Freeling, tackle out of Georgia. I think that this will just bolster the offensive line. They need a tackle. And if you want Jahmyr Gibbs to continue being Jahmyr Gibbs, you want an offensive line. Great player, and I think it will help that team tremendously. One thing that we know, Jared Goff, not good under pressure. We've seen it time and time again. You want to take a little bit of pressure off of Jared Goff? Stop making him into Jared Goof? Let me tell you. Get a tackle. He is right there. He's fallen into your lap. It's yours for the taking.
Peter, you like that pick? Resident Lions fan?
Yeah, I mean, I love that pick. The only thing that could make it better is if we could somehow trade Jared Goff. But, I mean, we're talking about a guy that has all the physical intangibles to be a top offensive tackle in this entire league. And he's going to the Lions where he's going to learn these things. So I think Freeling is a steal at 18 for the Lions. Or not 18, 17.
Yeah, but we are at pick 18 for you, Peter, and you're the GM for division rival, the Minnesota Vikings. What do they do? 2026 NFL Draft.
So, I mean, they just lost their longtime safety. Well, I say lost. They kicked them to the curb in March. So I feel like they're probably going to try and get a top guy immediately to fill that void. So with that being said, the pick is in. With the 18th pick, the Minnesota Vikings select Dylan Thieneman, Oregon safety.
Safety out of Oregon goes up next, replaces Harrison Smith, who has soft retired. I don't think he's officially retired yet.
He hasn't officially retired.
But
as of 6 years ago, he still will not say if he's retired or not.
So that's a situation to watch, but I don't think he'll play anywhere else but Minnesota. You need a guy that's going to replace him. So,
Good morning.
Thank you. You need a guy that's going to be able to replace a all-pro level guy in Harrison Smith. Thieneman is the next best option on the board. A good spot for the Vikings at pick number 18. The Panthers are on the clock. I'm the GM of the Panthers here. The Panthers have a lot of spots to go, although there are trade opportunities here. If I'm a team like the Steelers, boys, and let's propose this trade here. The Steelers are in an interesting spot. They need a quarterback, potentially. They're not going to have an answer for Aaron Rodgers. Although there isn't
after the draft.
There isn't really a great quarterback left in this class. Ty Simpson is that quarterback too. The Cardinals have been rumored to get him. They're 2 picks away. Do we think the Steelers pull the trigger, jump the Cardinals, swap with the Panthers here?
I don't know. I mean, it's a bit rich at 19 to draft Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson is guaranteed to go in the first round at this point. It really comes down to, does the Steelers think that they can hold out for one more year with Mason Rudolph or Will Howard as their starting quarterback? Because next year's quarterback class is significantly better than this one. I mean, you've got Dante Moore, you have Arch Manning, or you could even grab Drew Alar or Nussmeier in a later round. So it really comes down to, do they think Ty Simpson is that guy?
Do you? You're the Steelers in this situation, Peter.
You know, I think that if they can get a good price, they would.
I will give you, or I'm proposing, you move up to 19. I give you, and the Steelers give up pick 21 and pick 99.
Pick 21, 99. And do the Panthers get anything else back?
No, 21 and 99 for 19.
I think if you add in a fifth, I think the Steelers would be considering that, because then they're not losing too many picks.
So here's the thing. I don't think the Panthers care about a trade back right now. So if the Steelers are not interested in a trade, the Panthers pick is in.
I think that's a bit too rich for the Steelers. I'm not gonna lie.
The Panthers, with the 19th overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, select tight end of the future Kenyon Sadiq. Second straight Oregon Duck off the board. The top-tier tight end was rumored early on in the draft cycle to number 9 overall to the Chiefs, falls down to 19, and the Panthers get another offensive playmaker to surround Bryce Young with. The Cardinals, back on the clock.
They are, and they have already locked up the tackle of the future with Maui Noah, who they were rumored to stay and select at 3. Now, we think about this. The Cardinals, they're rumored to take Ty Simpson somewhere along the way. Do they want to make that jump? Who's the quarterbacks on their roster? Does anyone know?
Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew.
So, if you are the Cardinals and you're looking at your quarterbacks and you're like, do I think Ty Simpson is better than these quarterbacks?
Do you, Mr. Cardinals?
I personally wouldn't think so. But then you think about that team and you think about who's on the board. You have CJ Allen. You have Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Keldrick Folk, Avion Terrell, Omar Cooper, and Blake Miller. Those are some of the top guys on the board. And you're thinking, man, I could have any of these guys. You don't need Blake Miller anymore. You've got Francis Maui Noah. You could look a little bit deeper. You could find Caleb Banks. You could find some of the other players. But I think if I'm the Cardinals and I want the optics of wanting to win, I have my pick, and it is in. With the 20th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals select Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama.
Second quarterback off the board, right in front of the Steelers' faces too. If they wanted a quarterback here, that one could have
be a blessing in disguise, though.
Could be, could not be. The Steelers always seem to find themselves in this situation. Ty Simpson, second quarterback off the board, rumored to go to the Cardinals, could get an opportunity to start later on in the season because Jacoby Brissett is not generally a long-term option at starting quarterback. But the Steelers on the clock at 21.
So, I mean, with the Steelers pick, they just missed out on Ty Simpson. I think that they're still fine with that. They still got Drew Alar. They still have the Nussmeier out of LSU. Two guys that I'm going to be honest, I think are pretty much on par with Ty Simpson. So, I mean, you could even go in the 4th round and get Carson back. So there's a lot of options there. So I don't think that they're too upset. But I do have a question for you all. Do you think that the Colts try and trade back into the 1st round? They don't have a 1st round pick right now. They have already stated, hey, we really want to make some trades during this draft. Do you think this is a spot where they like a guy on the board and they try and trade up?
Indianapolis Colts don't have a pick until 47. So they are only top 100 picks are 47 and 78. Could they make a package up to the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Kenny Moore.
And Kenny Moore, the Steelers don't really need a corner, but it doesn't hurt to get a corner on the roster. I wouldn't be shocked if they traded into the 1st round, to answer your question. I don't think this is the spot for them to do it, though.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm just looking at this board right now, and the Steelers don't need an edge rusher. They don't need an offensive tackle. They don't need a safety. The only pieces that would warrant a pick at this stage is a wide receiver, because they have Pittman and they have DK Metcalf, who are essentially both on 1-year deals. So you need a young guy who could potentially be that wide receiver 1, maybe not next year, but the year after that. So with that being said, the pick is in. And with the 21st pick in this draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver out of Indiana.
Next tier of wide receivers kick off here with Omar Cooper. I'm not the biggest fan of him, but there's a lot of upside. I don't necessarily hate that pick. They get more depth in that wide receiver room. Literally never a bad thing. The Chargers on the clock here, and this is a good safety class. They need safeties in the worst way. They have a solid pass rush. They have a great offensive line. They have a great quarterback. They have solid weapons. They just need to go and shore up that defense, that secondary a little bit. You look at the options on the board, there's a couple of solid corners, a couple of safeties still around. So the pick for the Los Angeles Chargers is in. The Los Angeles Chargers turn their card in for Toledo safety Emmanuel McNeill-Warren. Warren, the Toledo product, is going to be a huge piece on their back end. People talk about a guy like Caleb Downs, his versatility. McNeill-Warren has a lot of those same aspects to his game. His ability to play in the box, his ability to stop the run, and his ability to work as a pseudo corner, pseudo linebacker, safety guy. I love this pick. I love this spot for him to go. Another Toledo product in the early rounds. Emmanuel McNeill-Warren goes at 22.
All right, at pick 23, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, I mean, off the top of my head, I think the only thing that they might be targeting here is going to be something of a wide receiver. You know, they're rumored to move off of A.J. Brown after the June 1st deadline. I think that is something that will happen. They don't anticipate trading before the draft because they don't want the dead cap. Money is going to be a big thing with them. And so I think at this pick, they're going to be looking to replace A.J. Brown. I don't believe that this is a spot that the Eagles are going to want to trade. Just because with the wide receiver class thinning out, I think that the Eagles are more so wanting to stay there. And I think the Eagles pick is in. With the 23rd pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Denzel Boston, wide receiver out of Washington. They need to make sure that they can keep that wide receiver full after they move off of A.J. Brown, who is rumored to be dealt to the Patriots, which we will see what that package is later. But if they feel that that is a done deal with their first round pick, I feel that they will be drafting wide receiver. I think it is just in their it's one of their best choice. But if you're Howie Roseman, you could have gone the stereotypical Howie Roseman method and gone for CJ Allen, a Georgia Bulldog. You know, the Philly Bulldogs up there. I think that's also a believable pick just because of Howie Roseman's tendency to pick Georgia players.
Yeah. Denzel Boston off the board. He continues to climb. He's a solid wide receiver here, and we've hit that second level of wide receivers where I feel he firmly is in. That might be a little rich for a spot for him to go, but for a team that needs a wide receiver and is pretty strong just about everywhere else, this is not a bad pick at all. Denzel Boston goes to the Eagles at 23. Pick 24, Peter, the Browns. Back on the clock for the second time.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns, I said with the sixth pick that it was between two guys. It was between either a wide receiver or it was between an offensive tackle. Well, they drafted a wide receiver. They still need an offensive tackle. So I think that this is a clear pick at this point. So the pick is in. And with the 24th pick, Cleveland Browns select Caden Proctor, offensive tackle out of Alabama. This is a guy that may even go higher than the Detroit Lions at this stage. So, I mean, Caden Proctor is a true offensive tackle. He'll fit right into that left tackle spot that they desperately need right now. So,
yeah, they need a guy like that pretty badly. The Chicago Bears up next at pick 25 after the Cleveland Browns fill out that offensive line, fully replacing all of their offensive line that left in free agency or retired. The Bears seemingly filled at just about every position, but it never hurts to add to that defense. So that being said, the pick is in. All offseason, all I've heard is the Bears connected to every single major pass rusher that has hit the open market, whether that be Dexter Lawrence, Max Crosby in trades, Trey Hendrickson in the free agent pool, and they landed not a single one of them, which leads me to believe they will be targeting the edge or the interior of the defensive line in this draft. There's a lot of different places they could go across that defensive line, but I think right now, with the way that this board looks, the best spot for them to go is on the edge. And I have them taking TJ Parker. The pick is in. I think I played it twice for them, but they deserve to play it twice because the Bears pick is in. They select TJ Parker, the edge out of Clemson. This might be a little bit high for some teams, for some people, but I like him more than Keldrick Falk and Cassius Howard, the other two edges that are on the board. You could talk me into any of the defensive interior players, Caden McDonald, Caleb Banks, or Peter Woods there, but I like the value getting what I think is the best edge rusher left on the board in TJ Parker at a Clemson for the Bears at pick 25. And the Bills, back on the clock.
You know, you mentioned that defensive interior, and the Bills, that's what they're going to be looking for at this pick. I think the defensive interior value is very high at this position. I think that you can't go wrong with any of them. You could also try and go the opposite direction. You could go for CJ Allen. He's still on the board. You've got Keldrick Falk. He's on the board. You can bolster your corners. You can go for Avion Terrell. But if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I think I would keep looking at that defensive interior. I think I want to draft somebody, one of those top 3 interiors. So, with that being said, the pick is in. The Buffalo Bills select Caden McDonald, defensive line, Ohio State. I think he is the best one on the board. That is my personal opinion. I know some other people may disagree. They may want to choose one of the other guys. Caleb Banks, I know that name a lot, is tossed around as the best available. But I think the Bills are going to want to choose Caden McDonald, and I just don't see them wanting to change any other way. You could be going for the corner over there out of, oh man, he is Clemson. I was gonna say the wrong school. I was thinking Colton Hood for a moment. I was gonna say Tennessee, but Avion Terrell is out of Clemson. Peter, do you have any thoughts?
No, I think it's a good pick. They may go Keldrick Folk there, but I think that's probably one of the only other names that I would think the Bills could go for.
Yeah, the Bills have a lot of options here along that defensive line. You got to shore up that defense because they're looking to make yet another run at the big dance towards the Super Bowl trophy. The 49ers back on the clock. Pick 27.
Yeah, I mean, before today, I would say that the 49ers were in desperate need of an offensive tackle. But then Trent Williams did re-sign today for, I think it was a 2-year deal. So he's locked up for at least the next 2 years. So I think offensive tackle is less so a concern of theirs. What is still a concern is wide receiver. I mean, the current wide receivers on the roster are
Mike Evans, no wide receiver 1. You still technically have Brandon Ayuk on that roster, although I expect him to be cut very shortly. It's basically Mike Evans and the world on that roster at wide receiver right now.
Oh, we've lost Peter to technical difficulties. No, Peter.
Peter will be right back, but he is right. That wide receiver room does need a little bit of an uplift. The issue is a lot of those top wide receivers are just simply off the board, right? You have, at this point with the wide receiver room, Casey Concepcion, guy that me and Peter really like, right? Big fan. Is he really worth going at pick 27? Chris Bell, a speedster, another guy that I like. Elijah Surratt, you don't need to pick this high up in the first round. A lot of these guys I think you can get later on. Is it worth reaching on a wide receiver here, even though it might be a bigger position of need, to go out and get to pass up on, maybe just some depth pieces? Because let me tell you something about the 49ers, Peter. They're hurt all of the time.
Always.
So depth, not a bad thing to have.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not a bad thing to have. I think they would go wide receiver here. I mean, they also confirmed, I think about an hour or so ago, that Brandon Ayuk is gone. He's not playing another snap as a 49er. So, I mean, they really need a receiver right now. I don't think that you walk up with Ricky Pearsall as your wide receiver 1 and be enthusiastic about it. So I cut out, so I'm not sure if the pick already was made.
Not yet.
But okay, so the pick is in. And with the 27th pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Casey Concepcion, wide receiver out of Texas A&M. I personally believe that Concepcion is the second best wide receiver in this draft. I think number 1 is probably Mekhi Lemon, and I think right after that is Casey Concepcion. This guy is truly incredible. Look at what his off-target rate was for throws past 15 yards. The quarterback threw off-target 43% of the time, and it was past 15 yards. The most in the entire college football. This guy is great. He has had some drop concerns. I'm not going to lie and say like he's the perfect prospect. He's not, but he is a really, really good wide receiver.
Yeah, I love Concepcion. He is a dynamo with the ball in his hand. Whenever he touches the ball, he makes things happen. And that's the kind of guy that I want on my football team. A guy that is just going to make things happen. An excellent pick for the 49ers at pick 27. Pick 28, the Texans on the clock. I think this is kind of a good board for them. They have options. They usually wouldn't have options here because, well, they need a tackle. They need an offensive line because their offensive line currently is the 4 jerseys that we have hanging behind us on the wall and a paper clip as well. So it's not really the greatest situation for CJ Stroud and a championship level defense. So I'm going to fix that issue just a little bit, as much as I, the GM of the Texans, possibly can. And the pick is in. The pick is in for the Houston Texans, and with the 28th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Blake Miller, tackle from Clemson. This is the best tackle on the board, the best offensive lineman remaining on the board. You could talk me into Max Iron-Anchor, or we figured out how to say this name last night, and it was nowhere close to Iron-Anchor. But Max I
think it was no. Oh man, Peter was the one that figured this out. We'll see if he figures it out again. I can agree with that. I do prefer Max a little bit more than Blake, but if you're looking at names, I don't think you're going to go wrong with either of them. I think Blake Miller is an equally good player, and I think the Texans just need to fix that offensive line. We watched CJ Stroud get demolished during that playoff game. Was not a pretty sight. You could not help but feel bad for him as he threw his
10th, 18th, 57th. It was a lot of interceptions.
somewhere around 4 interceptions. I do think it was actually 4, not to talk too badly about him, but he did need help on that offensive line, and I think as the GM of the Texans, you did the right thing.
Oh, thank you.
Peter, were you able to figure out how to pronounce?
Okay, this is what Google AI claims that is how you pronounce it. So this
well, that's what John Lynch uses to make his draft picks, apparently.
What?
Yeah, that just
Ehad Nachor.
Nachor?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what Google AI says. If that's not correct, my apologies. That's what it claims.
Doing it live.
How you pronounce it.
Doing it live.
Speaking of live, let it ride. Anyway.
Speaking of Caleb, the Chiefs back on the clock at 29. Their first pick that they made all the way back, 20 picks to go. Cornerback Mansour Delane. They're back here for their second pick of the draft.
They are, and there's a couple ways that this could go, and I think it may or may not have fell perfectly. There is 2 really good names near the top of this board for this Chiefs team. You're looking at Keldrick Folk and you're looking at Avion Terrell. And I think they are going to be happy to get either one of them. And if I'm the Chiefs and I have some holes on my roster, I know where I'm going. The pick is in. The Chiefs do not care who they've selected earlier. They go for it anyways. Avion Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson. You lose both your corners to the Rams. You come back swinging in the first round. You draft 2 corners immediately. You fill your secondary up. You make sure that your defensive front has time to get to the quarterback. And you suddenly look much better at your secondary position.
Yeah, I mean, look, 2 Tigers, 2 different schools, but still 2 Tigers to replace your 2 corners that both went to the Rams. Lots of pairs here. I always like to drive home a little storyline for you, Peter. I know you enjoy those. But this is a great pick. There's a lot of places they could go. There's a couple guys that are falling further than in any other mock that we have made together. So it's really interesting to see how this board falls. 3 picks left. Lots of names available that we have taken in the first round before. Peter, the Dolphins are back on the clock at pick 30.
Yeah, so, I mean, I touched on this a little bit, and I with the Steelers pick, and I genuinely believe that the Colts will try and trade right here. They are in desperate need of an edge rusher, and Falk has kept on falling. Now, they may have to do a little bit of an overpay, and I completely understand that because the Dolphins will probably say, hey, we also need Falk. So they would have to make it worth their while. So what do you all think of this? What if the Colts gave up 47 and 78? So they're second and third this year for the 30th pick.
I mean, I think the Dolphins would absolutely accept this. And we know the Colts are a little prone to overpaying. I think the Colts would make this trade. So I think the Dolphins have more to lose here.
The one question, if I'm the Dolphins and I get offered this, I accept this. This is how I'll start this. My one question is, if you're the Colts, do you instead dial up the Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks, and see if you can get it a little bit cheaper?
I mean, potentially, but I don't think that Falk makes it past the Patriots. I think that if Falk is there for the Patriots, they grab him.
All right.
I don't think he's there.
If this is the official offer from the Indianapolis Colts, the Miami Dolphins will accept this trade. And the Colts, Peter, are on this clock.
And, I mean, already touched on it. The whole point of why they are here is to draft a quarterback. I'm just kidding. It's to draft Keldrick Falk, edge rusher out of Auburn.
The pick is in. Edge rusher out of Auburn, Keldrick Falk, goes off the board at pick 30. The Colts trade into the first round with the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins get 2 top 100 picks out of this move. The Patriots on the clock at pick 31. The runners up have a really wide open board. There are 2 names that immediately stick out to me here if I'm looking at the board like this, but really any of the first 5 I think they'd be happy with. CJ Allen, Cassius Howell, Max I, Caleb Banks, or Peter Woods. I think you're very happy if you walk out of this draft if you are the New England Patriots. I look at this board and I look at who has fallen the furthest. And there's only one name that I'm shocked is still on the board at this point. So with that, the pick is in. I think, Peter, your logic is sound that Falk would not have made it this far except for the fact CJ Allen is on the board right now. CJ Allen out of Georgia, mocked average draft position by the public at 21. His rank is 18 on the big board. He is the best linebacker available right now. They need a linebacker. They also need a tackle. I could see them taking Max out of Arizona State, but I'm taking the guy that's fallen to the end of the first round. This is a great value pick. It's hard not to pick him when he's staring in your face. CJ Allen off the clock at pick 31. Caleb, feel free to finish up this draft for us. The Seahawks are on the clock.
They are, and they have made it clear that they want to trade. But I don't actually know who would want to trade in. The names that you're going to be looking at for people who would want to trade in, you're going to be looking at Max I, and you're going to be looking at Caleb Lomu out of Utah. I feel the tackles are the big names. Colton Hood's another name for any corner needy team. Peter Woods, Caleb Banks, or even Cassius Howell. Somebody is going to call the Seahawks. We just don't know who, and we don't know what they're going to offer them. Now, we know the Seahawks are going to be looking to go for a running back. So, anyone who could be looking to fix some holes on their team could be looking here, because the Seahawks are going to trade back and they're likely going to be drafting probably Jardarian Price. We know they're going to be looking at running back, and we know that Jardarian Price is that second running back. And does anyone have any ideas of who may want to trade up for this position?
I don't know how many takers there are going to be.
I don't think there's any.
So here's the thing. I think they want to trade back, but I don't think there's a guy that anyone looks at this board and I say, I need to have that fifth-year option on. Because that's the reason you would trade back into the first instead of waiting if you're an early team in the later half of in the early half of the second round. If there's a guy that you say, I want a fifth-year option on, you pull the trigger right now.
I just don't know if
there's nobody here that sticks out to me right now. So I think
the Seahawks are just kind of sitting ducks. They're going to look at the board and they're going to go, who's the best that we can have and where does it fill? And I honestly think it is the guy that is currently sitting atop of our boards. The Seahawks, they're going to try and continue to move forward with upgrading their defense. I think it is in their best decision to close out the first round of the 2026 NFL Draft. The pick is in. They're going to look at the top of the board and they're going to go, who's the best name? Nobody wants to move back into the first. So we're just going to select the guy at the top. We're going Cassius Howell, edge. I think that it fills one of the holes on that roster. There wasn't that many. We saw it in the Super Bowl. They just looked like a complete team. I know they've lost running back. I just think the value at 32 is way too high for the next running back. They could just say, nobody wants to move into the first round. We want a running back. We'll just get our guy no matter what. But I think there's a good chance that they just go for the value pick. They take the guy who is the most valuable, best player available.
Yeah, Cassius Howell here, still alive, still kicking. A good spot for him to go, good value at pick 32. Let's run through the top 10 of the draft here. And if any of you guys from our mock have some, crazy thoughts on what has happened here. Pick number 1, the Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback from Indiana. The Jets take David Bailey out of Texas Tech with pick 2. Arvell Reese goes number 3 in the first trade of the draft as the Cowboys trade up, giving up 12 and 20 for the Cardinals' number 3 overall pick. Arvell Reese goes to the Cowboys at 3. Running back, Jeremiah Love off the board at number 4 from Notre Dame to the Titans. At 5, first big surprise of the draft, the Giants select Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State. We get a little run of Buckeyes with the Browns selecting Carnell Tate, the wide receiver, and the Commanders selecting Sonny Styles, the linebacker. 3 straight Buckeyes, 4 out of 5 from 3 to 7. The Buckeyes run the top 10. And Ruben Bain to number 8 with the Saints, and edge rusher heads down to the Bayou over there to help build out what hopefully is a rising powerhouse in the NFC South. The Chiefs add to that defense with Mansour Delane to help fix the corners, the holes that left from their 2 corners leaving. And the Giants, with their second pick, turn Dexter Lawrence, like a magic trick, into Jordan Tyson to round out the top 10. Some other notable picks here. Francis Maui-Noah falls to 12 with the Cardinals as they trade back. Jermon McCoy, 16 to the Jets. We had another trade later on in the draft as the Colts traded up into the first round to pick 30 in order to select Keldrick Fulk, the edge out of Auburn. CJ Allen falls all the way down to 31, the linebacker out of Georgia. And KC Concepcion, pick 27, goes to the San Francisco 49ers. Lots to like about the NFL mock draft. We will post this and all our other mock drafts as we are just 3 days away from the NFL real life draft on Thursday. Make sure you stay tuned. We will be back all week with the latest rumors, news, and reports from around the NFL and the rest of the sporting world. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Triple Threat Show, our special live mock draft 2.0 with trades. Lots of excitement, lots of love. Thank you to Peter Keigwin and Caleb Carney for joining me on our show today. I will be back tomorrow morning. We will continue your draft coverage then, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.